Hi, my name is Joe Clarke. I'm a principal architect with Rolta Advizex, and today we're going to be talking about securing desktop networking with VMware NSX. One of the problems that we see with desktop networking is that for the most part, in most networks, desktop computers can all talk to each other. That's regardless of whether they're physical or virtual. When desktops become virtual, it becomes a different problem altogether that most network security guys tend to, turn their nose up a little bit is the simple fact that inside of an ESXi hypervisor, all these desktops that might be on a similar desktop VLAN, traffic that goes between those desktops never actually makes it to the physical network, which is an interesting problem. And one of the things that we use to solve that problem is VMware NSX, which provides an in-kernel distributed firewall that can take firewall actions on traffic inside of the host, which is very powerful. We've put together a simulation here of maybe some requirements that we might see in a desktop network, such as if you have Windows XP computers, they're able to be instantly owned and they should have no access to the internet whatsoever. That we want to limit desktop to desktop traffic, and we want contractors with limited access. Now, that would be pretty easy to do if it weren't for a couple of constraints that we have here, which are we want as few changes to the physical network as possible, and we want as few network rules as entirely possible. So if we look at VMware NSX and some of the rules that we might make to solve for our business requirements here, we'd look at a couple different rules that we would implement. We would install VMware NSX on all the hosts in the cluster. So all of these rules would be applying to all the virtual machines that are running in VMware NSX. So if we look at some of the rules we would create, I'll sort of explain them and what we would do to actually make this happen. So if we say we would like Windows XP to not have access to the internet, we can actually say we would like a source of Windows XP computers. And because NSX is aware of what operating system is running in these virtual machines, it can properly identify the source for this rule. We can say the destination is not any RFC 1918 networks, meaning anything that's a local address is fine, but anything that's not a local address needs to be dropped, and then we want to just deny that traffic. One firewall rule, any Windows XP virtual machines immediately have no internet access whatsoever. No desktop to desktop traffic. This is one that is insanely powerful. And the reason for this is you might be thinking, oh man, there's gonna be a bunch of different rules because Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 10, a bunch of different IP addresses, a bunch of different networks. Nope, we can actually just make a group that is comprised of all the desktop operating systems, meaning Windows XP 7, Windows 10, as the source, the destination also being the same desktops with the action deny. Done. And at that point in time, any desktop to desktop traffic, regardless of operating system type, is going to be blocked in the kernel of the hypervisor itself. It never actually touches the physical network, which is an incredibly powerful thing. Along with that, we can actually provide firewall statistics on VM to VM traffic and send that out to either a syslogger or a security tool that's going to be monitoring that. As we continue down this list over here and we look at limited contractor access, one of the things that we would do is be using the identity-based firewall, where we would make an Active Directory group for contractors. And we might say that those contractors are allowed to access a particular subnet, let's just call it 10.11.12/24, that we want them to be allowed to access that because that's our development network and they really only need access to development. So that's great. And then we might say contractors to pretty much anywhere else we would like to deny. And this allows any of the users that are in this Active Directory group that are logged into these virtual machines access to the 10.11.12 subnet, but denied access to anywhere else. So that's a quick look at VMware NSX inside of a virtual desktop environment and how we might use it to secure our networks and our traffic. Thanks for watching.